All right, we're back. Another Friday chart review. We're going to go ahead and go bar by bar and wrap up the week. We get started around 6 a.m. Over the pre-market, pretty much just have a strong, tight uh, bull leg. This is our first breakout side right here, and kind of just consolidating since then. So walking up to the chart, all I'm going to be looking for are levels at 35, 55, and probably another level at 35, 59. So somewhere in here, although this is a pretty tight range, I'm going to need to buy down here and sell up here. In theory, our best idea, because we have this bull leg in the first break, I kind of like the buys better, expecting a test of this high. So we'll kind of run it from there and see where we get. Right here we have our first entry setting up. That's a doji bar. Not that much separation from the EMA. Probably just skip that one. And then here at the open we have a matching bottom. If this signal bar was a little better, I would buy above this signal bar. But it's also somewhat of a doji, so it's a little aggressive to buy above this. But you might do that if you're being aggressive, being that it's a doji at the edge of the range. Um, but I was just going to wait for a slightly better setup, so I let that one go as well. Up here at the highs, we're hitting the resistance. Get a push right back to these lows. Here's there was like a failed second entry in there, but we're too much in the middle, and the EMA is going right through all those bars. Really, as this range gets tighter and tighter, probably just want to stay out of it. I would even move my channel maybe down to there now. That gives us a little bit wider of a channel. Now we'll just find the setups. Um, right here, you get a second entry long off this high, first entry, second entry. So when we break above here, you can go long. I think that's an appropriate trade. So that one ends up getting you a scalp, no problem. Pretty easy trade. And then if you had a runner, you could probably just exit at these highs or just cover as much as you can. Just need to be mindful of the pullbacks, highly likely. So as we work up on this high side, we'll probably try to short again, unless we get a breakout pullback and continue moving higher. Here you get like a higher low doji, but it's not really, this breakout pullback doesn't happen outside of the range. So I would just kind of play the range still. I wouldn't be looking for longs up here. Probably something like that now. This swings higher than these highs, so that's not a setup either. We're kind of just going sideways at the highs. You know, we went sideways at the lows here, and now we're going sideways at the highs. That's pretty much all that's going on there. We get a breakout side. Let's see if we get any setups from there. I don't want to go long yet. It's too early to go long. You can see we're still kind of just going sideways. You probably, you might want to lift up the range. Let's do it like this. So you probably want your range more like this at this point, just to account for all the new information. So you could see it's, you know, you're not really trying to buy up here. If we can get like a lower high, that might be a good short trade. Don't quite break above yet. And then here we break higher than this high. So this is a new count off the highs. Um, there is a second entry short to this low first entry. And even though it pulls back and makes a lip, none of these bars go higher than a previous bar. So really that's just the first entry that goes to there. And then we pull back and this is a second entry. So you might consider shorting here. I'll wait for a lower high and I'll probably take the lower high short. You would have been pretty good if you took that. Here's the lower high. If we break lower, we broke lower there, but we have a really bull signal bar, so that's not where you want to go short below. And then here we get the reversal pattern off this high, first attempt, second attempt. Once that fails, you want to go short below that one. That's going to be a solid setup. It's we're going a little sideways here on the upper side, but the fact that we can't push through these highs means price will likely try and test these lows. So this is a good place to enter short as well. That one starts to make a move down, pulls back, and gives you another entry. But then entering down in here, you're kind of on the lower side of the range. It's probably game over for the shorts. So you're gonna have to wait. Maybe we can get long at the lows if you're not already in. That goes and tests the lows. Now we get a breakout side on the low side. Really off the lows, it's just the first bounce. Off the highs, it's like a fourth entry. So there's nothing there we can use. Maybe we'll get a higher low. On a smaller time frame, you probably got a higher low here, but on this chart, it doesn't print as a higher low. So we're still going to go ahead and wait. And then we get a strong push up from there. But we're back into this high side of the channel, so going long is going to get a little risky. We briefly dip below, but then our signal is this red bar for the higher low trade. So you can't buy above this bar. You would have got stopped out. Here's a second entry long. I feel like this trade is okay. I would be looking at something like that. So it'd be first entry, second entry. It's a little bit nerve-wracking that we're in the middle, but it also is a good sign that we bounced off these lows previously. So this is kind of a gray area trade. It would have stopped you though. Just back to that thing of trying to get in on the touch of the lows as opposed to after a touch of the midline. That might have helped you, but and entering in the middle is always going to be closer to 50-50 than entering out here. So price continues to push lower. We just kind of make like a double bottom. It's not an exact double bottom, but now we're kind of pushing back above the EMA. Once again, we'll look for a higher low. If we break above here, that's a higher low. We talked about this last Friday with these bars that have that selling at the end, but still close red. Really it depends on how this next bar looks. If this next bar opens around this 556 level and just immediately off the open starts to move higher, that's probably a good trade as well. Other than that, it's a little aggressive, but if you know that pattern and you see that sort of momentum off the open, that'll probably be worth a scalp. And it does look like that bar pretty much does that. It only takes one tick lower, and then after that one tick lower, it's only higher from there. So that's probably a good sign. You get a little move. Don't know if that's going to be enough for a scalp. Just shy of a scalp. Just shy of a scalp there. And then we continue to push lower. Here we get a first entry. It's kind of an interesting trade because it's another breakout side. We don't have a breakout pullback, a really nice bullish bar. If we can get like a higher low, we're going to buy that as well. Here's that higher low. Sets up on the lower side of the range. I like that one. That one you get the scalp no problem. And then right here you have a like a reversal pattern. We're getting back close to that middle, so it's going to be aggressive to buy this. But if you're looking at the overall picture, you might want to take this trade as well, just expecting a test of the high side over here. So I'll extend this one again. Actually, I guess what I could do would just be easier. Just do it like that. When we touch that high side, I mean, pretty much the whole day we've just been stuck in this range, so it's pretty straightforward on how to trade this. Um, Back at the lows, first entry to the highs. There's a small second entry, but your signal bar was bad. There's a reversal pattern, but you don't want to short near the lows. And that pretty much gets us to 830. But you can see we're just kind of in that tight channel. So it was actually a pretty easy day to trade, even though price didn't really go anywhere. As long as you just short the highs and buy the lows, it's pretty easy. The only sketchy trades happened in the middle. Um, and that's why, that little setup we're talking about needs some work because it's not just a universal win. But yeah, as long as you were in down here, really, really kind of an easy day. But that's going to wrap it up for the week. Let's just run through the price action, see kind of where we ended up by the close. We'll be out of here. See, there's a little second entry long right there. Now we get that breakout pullback, so it looks like we might start trending higher, and we do eventually make a new high. Price just continues to trend. I mean, in the afternoon, we do end up getting a pretty nice trend with a few setups that look pretty good. That's pretty much where we end. So we do end higher today. And at the end, we do get a really nice leg higher. But you could probably see this as leg one and then an attempt at a leg two. So pretty standard stuff. Nothing too different today. So we'll be back again next week. But until then, y'all be safe, and I'm out of here.